Welcome to the 2016-17 school year. The purpose of this screencast is to provide you with information to guide you through the teacher development and evaluation process in ISD 728. There are 2 learning targets for you today. First, we want you to be able to review the required components of the teacher development and evaluation process, and then know how to apply this information to your own personal growth plan. The Teacher Development and Evaluation Committee began work in May of 2012 and continues to meet regularly today. The goal of the committee is to implement a quality plan for teacher evaluation that complies with the Minnesota statutory requirements. Many of the minor changes that have been made to our plan over the years have occurred because of feedback this committee has received and acted upon. Committee members include teachers, principals, district administration, and a representative of the Elk River Education Association. Your primary contact in this process is your building administrator or evaluator. Please remember that there are also other administrators, evaluators, colleagues, and teachers on special assignment who are here to help and support you. There are 3 areas addressed in our plan. Teacher practice makes up 50% of your evaluation score, student engagement 15%, and student learning and achievement 35%, as defined through Minnesota state statute. This graphic illustrates how the 3 components relate to one another, to teacher professional development and learning, and also to the district's priorities. There are many resources available to support you. First, we have the Teacher Development and Evaluation Forms and Resource page, which can be accessed in a variety of ways. From the district website, you can access the page through the Human Resources Department or the Teaching and Learning Department. You can also find the link on the very bottom of the Elk River Campus login page, next to the link for the iObservation website. You will also be sent weekly updates from the Educational Services Department. On the left side of that communication, you will see a variety of helpful links, including a link to the Teacher Development and Evaluation Forms and Resources page. Please use these resources as they will help make this process easier to navigate. As in the past, all teachers will start their growth plan by completing a self-assessment, writing 3 to 5 goals, and submitting their plan to their designated evaluator for approval. New this year is that all teaching areas are now housed in the online iObservation tool. So, if you are a special education teacher, a counselor, a nurse, instructional support, or a classroom teacher, all learning maps, all plans, and all elements are now found in the iObservation website. We also now have a smaller number of elements for you to choose from to help narrow your focus and make things a bit simpler for you. You have been placed in one spot on the evaluation cycle. Either you are a probationary teacher, a continuing contract teacher in a peer review year 1 or 2, or you are in your summative year. If you are a probationary teacher, you will be completing all 3 elements for 3 consecutive years. If you are a continuing contract teacher, you will be in peer review 1, peer review 2, or in your summative year. The Human Resource Department has identified your place in the evaluation cycle and will notify you of your placement on this cycle at the beginning of the school year. Remember that all teachers every year work on Component 1, Teacher Practice. Probationary and summative teachers complete Component 1, but they also do the work for Components 2 and Component 3. Probationary and summative teachers have very similar requirements. The only difference is that probationary teachers complete this process for 3 consecutive years, whereas summative teachers complete this process once every 3 years. Peer Review 1 and Peer Review 2 teachers have the same requirements as each other. So let's talk about Component 1 first. Remember, all teachers are completing Component 1. Everyone completes a self-assessment and creates a growth plan for your unique area. You can find these areas on the iObservation website. iObservation is a tool to help house your teacher development and evaluation information, keep track of your goals and action plan, and store your uploaded evidence of progress. After you have completed your self-assessment and have written your individual growth plan, you will submit it through iObservation to your evaluator or administrator for approval by October 1st. You will then spend the year working toward meeting the 3 to 5 goals that you have chosen for Component 1, and you will upload evidence of progress throughout the year. Refer to the iObservation website to look at the learning map and elements specific to your area. Component 1 is 50% of your total evaluation score. On to Component 2, Student Engagement. Although we are always concerned about student engagement, it will also be a focus for those teachers in their probationary years or continuing contract teachers in their summative year. In the student engagement component, you will be working specifically to increase student engagement, which ultimately will impact student learning and achievement. In this area, you will select an element and create a goal specific to your unique group, either being a special education teacher, counselor, nurse, instructional support, or classroom teacher. You will obtain approval from your evaluator or administrator for this goal through the iObservation website. You will be working on this component throughout the specified time during the school year, including gathering information, collecting artifacts, and reflecting on your student engagement goal. You will also upload any evidence you may have into your iObservation account. Student engagement is 15% of your total evaluation score. On to Component 3, Student Learning and Achievement. Component 3 applies to probationary teachers and those continuing contract teachers who are also in their summative year. In this area, you are going to select a goal based on selected elements specific to your unique group. Again, special education teachers, counselors, nurses, instructional support, or classroom teacher. Once you obtain approval from your administrator or evaluator through the iObservation website, you will teach content and collect specific longitudinal data on student learning and record progress of your students on the learning goal you have established. You will reflect upon the student learning and achievement goal, upload evidence of this work, and complete a reflection on iObservation. Component 3 is worth 35% of your total score. Probationary teachers have 3 or more formal observations by their evaluator or administrator per year. They also may have informal walkthroughs throughout the year. Summative teachers have 1 or more formal observations completed by their evaluator or administrator that may impact their final evaluation score. We do want you to be successful, so we are not looking for a gotcha, but we are looking for ongoing growth. The observations and walkthroughs are intended to help you grow and to keep track of your progress as you grow. If you are a peer review year 1 or 2 teacher, you will be participating in peer review with a trusted colleague. You and your peer will be compensated with an additional stipend. Please refer to the Teacher Development and Evaluation Plan for additional information about this compensation. In peer review, you are going to be working with another continuing contract teacher that you trust as approved by your administrator or evaluator. Along with you, your peer reviewer will be participating in a 30-minute pre-observation conference. Your peer reviewer will observe your goals in action and will follow up with you in a 30-minute post-observation conference. This is very similar to what an evaluator or administrator does during a formal observation. In peer review, the work you complete, the information gathered, and conversations you have will stay private between the two of you as you discuss your progress towards the goals you have established. Peer review conversations are private between the two colleagues. You may access the observations resources in the iObservation website if you choose to. See the Teacher Development and Evaluation Forums and Resource website for more resources regarding peer review. The purpose of any pre-observation meeting with your administrator, evaluator, or peer reviewer is to establish a common understanding of effective classroom instruction. The conversation again takes about 30 minutes. During the pre-conference, you will review the goals you have set and discuss what your evaluator or peer will be looking for in the upcoming observation. In these conversations, we hope that we will help each other build capacity and implement good practice that will benefit our students. If this is a peer review pre-conference, again, it is a private conference between two colleagues. The post-observation conference with your administrator, evaluator, or peer reviewer takes place after the observation. You will be reviewing and reflecting on your work towards your goal and reviewing the observation data collected as well as any other information gleaned during the observation. It is also intended to be a time to engage in meaningful reflection and collaboration. If this observation is a part of the peer review process, it remains confidential between the two peers. If you are interested in creating an optional portfolio to further document how you are accomplishing your teacher practice, student engagement, and student learning and achievement goals, you may do so, but are not required. The portfolio is an option that is required to be offered by the Minnesota State Statute, but does not replace classroom observations from the administrator or evaluator or peer reviewer during an evaluation. A portfolio certainly can complement the work you are doing. If you would like to pursue the portfolio as an option, please refer to the section in our Teacher Development and Evaluation Plan. Please let your administrator or evaluator know by September or October that you intend on participating in the portfolio development process. When you have completed your work in components 1, 2, and 3 in your summative year or probationary years, you will have a final conversation with your administrator or evaluator to review the evidence you have provided or uploaded on the progress you have achieved towards the goals you established earlier in the year. You will talk about what you learned and what you plan on doing with this information. The purpose of this conversation is to gather a common understanding of classroom instruction and to promote growth for you and your students. We want you and your administrator or evaluator to engage in meaningful reflection to connect teaching practice to student learning. We hope to build capacity and promote good teaching practices that will benefit our students and you. You will discuss your final rating, and you will be able to review it, electronically sign it, and respond to it online through the iObservation website. So the biggest change from last year to this year involves paper. The question is, do I need to submit paper copies of any of my proposed goals to my administrator or evaluator? Not anymore. The desire to simplify the TDE process was one significant piece of feedback that the Teacher Development and Evaluation Committee received from various stakeholders. As of this fall, all groups will have all information, including maps and elements within the iObservation tool. You are working in all three areas and are focusing on continued growth. We are here to support you, and we wish you much success in the upcoming school year. If you have any questions, please contact any member of the Teacher Development and Evaluation Committee or any of the administrators or evaluators available in your location. Again, the Teacher Development and Evaluation Committee meets monthly, and we welcome any feedback you have to improve this process. Thanks, and have a great year.